Hello Bond fans, and welcome to the Bond Bulletin on Location, a new series just for YouTube where I will be exploring James Bond filming locations. My first trip led me here to the Czech spa town of Karlovy Vary, where Casino Royale was filmed with Daniel Craig and Eva Green, directed by Martin Campbell. 5 locations of interest, and the one I am walking towards now. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, yes, because I like a city to be empty, no tourists, and it gets pretty full here in the afternoon. What you will see in these travel videos is the locations, yes, of course. I'm trying to get the angles right, but not all the time, because this is more about traveling and exploring the city and the surroundings. So you will learn a bit about Karlovy Vary, about its famous hot springs, and yes, I will take you to the surrounding area. The first location I'm walking towards now is the mill Colonnade, right in the middle of the city. The scene that was filmed here was James Bond and Vesper Lynd arriving at Montenegro train station. Of course, there is no train station in the middle of Karlovy Vary, it's at the far end, but they used this wonderful architecture to make it look like Montenegro. So, just going over the bridge here, this is about where the camera was positioned. You will see the scene in a moment. And here we are, Mill Colonnade. Now, before I take you through the Colonnade to the next location, a little information about the hot springs. They are rich with sulfur and very healthy for your body and for your system. So what you do is you buy one of these little cups, very nice ones. This one was about €5 or something. You can get them in every shop. And what you do is you fill it up here, but you drink from here. First time. Obviously, I did it wrong. So you just do that. Nice cup of hot spring water. The healing water of the hot springs works its magic when you walk around. So perfect for a morning stroll. And, well, as I said, drinking it looks a bit funny. They say these hot springs can cure a lot of things that we encounter over the years, problems with bones, problems with muscles, so why not try it? There are hot springs with about 60 degrees Celsius and going down to 13 degrees. Some have sparkling water, some don't, so there's really something for everyone. You should try it. So this is Mill Colonnade, where they also filmed a deleted scene between James Bond and Vesper Lynd, Daniel Craig and Eva Green, which had a bit of dialogue and was very well done from the costume department. And before we go to our next location, here is the scene from the film, which sadly got deleted.
Good morning. You sleep well?
Yes. Apart from the nightmares of squandering public funds.
Well, it's nice to know you're so concerned about our tax revenue.
Do secret agents pay taxes?
It's unfair, isn't it?
Can you deduct for bullets and poison darts?
Of course. Under standard business expenses.
A bit of film trickery as usual, because when Bond and Vesper Lynd exit Montenegro train station and are picked up by the car to be driven to the Hotel Splendide, was filmed right here when you exit the Colonnade.
Hotel Colonnade, sir.
That's right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If you've seen a couple of my videos, you know that horses are somewhat a recurring theme. Oh boy. Walking through Karlovy Vary gives you the feeling of it being a long stretch of promenade with a lot of expensive shops to the left and to the right. The city is built in a valley from the train station to the hotel, to the Grandhotel Pupp, when you go all the way. And if I look to the right, you might recognize the tower, but from a different angle. Lots of famous brands here. There's Lagerfeld, and I also saw a shop selling suits by Brioni, of course, the famous suit makers of Pierce Brosnan in the 90s. So not only can you get healthy here, you can also leave a lot of your hard-earned cash here. If you need to change money, there are these little exchange shops where you comfortably do that. They always display the current price in front. They are very friendly and no funny business. So, a recommendation: never change money on the street. So if somebody on the street offers you to change your euros, dollars, pounds, whatever, into the Czech crown, don't do it. Go to one of these exchange shops or to your hotel or at the local banks. If you need something from a supermarket, like real supermarket, you will find some small supermarkets throughout the city, but the bigger ones are at the far end of the city, near the train station and everything, in the financial district. So here it's just brands and hotels. Walking up from the Mill Colonnade, you pass by the second colonnade, which is Market Colonnade, built in the Swiss style. And we're walking up to the next location, which is where Bond and Vesper are driven to the Hotel Splendide. And you remember, they got in just behind me and continue on this path. So there you see the film trickery that was actually done on Casino Royale. I'll show you the exact spot right now. I am so desperate for a coffee right now. You can't imagine. 7 o'clock in the morning. Subscribe to the Bond Bulletin, because I'm doing this all for you. When you continue down the road from Mill Colonnade and Market Colonnade just behind me, you end up at the Grandhotel Pupp, which is pretty much the largest and most splendid building in Karlovy Vary. And just to the left of it, the hotel is very big. You continue down the river and you end up at Kaiserbad, which was used as the famous Casino Royale, a structure probably as famous now as the volcano from You Only Live Twice, or Here's Gloria from Her Majesty's Secret Service. Oh, and it's lovely in the morning. That's why I do it without tourists. Because, well, not so much buzz, not so much noise, and after all, it's a spa town. And here it is, right behind me, the Grandhotel Pupp, which doubled as the Hotel Splendide in Casino Royale, one of the most splendid hotels in Karlovy Vary. You have to check it out. And they kindly agreed to give us a small interview, show us some of the locations that were used in the film. But before we go inside, I want to show you a bit of the surroundings, which means we need to go up 2 mountains. Ooh. Right up there, behind me, is Diana Observation Tower, where you go with a funicular. And there is an observation deck, there's a mini zoo, and a butterfly house. I recommend that to everyone. It's not expensive to go up there. It's 90 crowns, which is about, I don't know, 3 to 4 euros. And here's the footage I filmed yesterday. Maybe a missed opportunity in the Bond film. The Stag's Jump. The middle station of the funicular that drives you up the mountain where the observation tower is. As you can see here on the map, the observation tower, I have a stick to help me, is right here. So that's Karlovy Vary. And where the sea is, that's where the Grand Hotel is, where they filmed Casino Royale. So, and that's where you come down, where I come down walking, and also where the funicular comes down. Coming down these steps from the very top of where the observation tower is, you end up in a very small street, and right next to it is the Grandhotel Pupp, of which you can see the backside here. Enormous hotel, must say. Of course, the water from the hot springs doesn't automatically heal you within minutes. No, it takes a bit of walking in the surrounding forest of Karlovy Vary or in Karlovy Vary for the water to work its way through your system. And I decided to do a bit of hiking before I go to the Grandhotel Pupp, and I found this magical place. Look at that. Goethe's Lookout Tower. 638 meters above Karlovy Vary, I think if I read it correctly. But it is a bit of a steep hike, so I recommend you check out David Zaritsky's fitness videos he did for the Bond experience. I think it was Get Fit Like Bond or something. You're much better off because I'm quite tired, quite exhausted, and I've realized I don't have the fitness to do these hikes. Well, I'm not 15 anymore. You can't actually see much of the city. You can see just a little stretch going towards the train station, but ooh, it's lovely weather. And you have a look over the Ore Mountains, and this tower was constructed in 1888 to 1889 for the wife of the Crown Prince Rudolf of Austria. When the tower went through several name changes until it arrived at Goethe's Lookout Tower in 1957. Before that it was Stalin's Tower and yeah, some other names. You have to walk up here because they wanted to build a funicular, but preparations got halted thanks to the First World War. And actually just in the distance there, over there on the other hill, you can see Diana Observation Tower, where I went yesterday, the day I arrived in Karlovy Vary, and there you can see the funicular. So I've been to two lookouts on opposite sides of Karlovy Vary, and when you look closely, you see that the village is really one very, very long stretch of promenade, as I said. In the roundabout of the Grandhotel Pupp there is a tradition of including plaques of famous visitors into the street, into the cobblestones. In the film it was a different kind of floor, a different kind of street. Pay attention to that. Here's the scene from the film. To learn more about the history of the hotel, let's head inside. I'm here with Tom from Guest Service, and he will show us a bit of the hotel, a bit of the filming locations of Casino Royale. And we're at the entrance now, and I showed it to you before. This is the roundabout where the cars arrive, and there are all these plaques of famous visitors. Daniel Craig is over there. Did he stay here in the hotel? Do you know?
It's hard to say because a lot of people was there, so maybe they use other hotel and here was just for the filming.
Yeah.
So
must have been a large film crew invading the hotel.
yes, I think so.
Okay, let's head inside because everything, well, most of it pretty much looks like in the film. So this is the entrance hall.
Welcome to the Hotel Splendid. Your name, sir?
James Bond. You'll find the reservation under Beach.
Welcome, Mr. Bond.
You signed that deal. You represent the Treasury.
Thank you. Enjoy your stay.
I will. Thank you.
Bond and Vesper came in here, and all of this.
The reception is on the reception. When you go to the room, you go to the lift, but the room is located in the second part of the hotel.
Okay.
So there is the view to the parking, and it's not connect through the corridors in the third floor.
Okay.
If you want to go to the second part, you must go here downstairs and then through all the restaurants
Ah, okay.
to the second reception and then upstairs.
Okay, so film trickery
Yes,
again.
yes.
Take the next one. There isn't enough room for me and your ego.
In the film, the lift was wooden, and now it has a mirror inside, I think. There is one. Can you tell me something about the history of the hotel? When was it built?
So the first part was built in the year 1701. So we have over 300 years long history.
Yeah.
The first part was approximately here, where is the corridor. It was the Saxonia Hall, and then was made the second hall, Czech Hall, which was approximately in in the mirror hall area.
Yeah.
I can show you then
Yeah.
where is it. And then come this guy,
Follow me, please. Say what's your name?
Johann Georg Pupp, and he by all together and built this huge hotel.
Yeah. Okay. How many rooms does it have?
We have 228
Okay.
rooms, approximately one half here, the second half on the second floor.
Oh, it's very large when you go around. It's really, really large. How many people actually come and ask about Bond or stay here because of Bond?
A lot of people.
A lot of people. Okay.
About Bond, about last holiday. It's good for the hotel.
Yeah.
We have the package James Bond, so a lot of guests stay here and enjoy the atmosphere with James Bond.
Yeah. Okay. Can we go to the restaurant where that one table is? There should be nothing on now because it's shortly after 2 in the afternoon.
This is the table of James Bond.
Ah, this one?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Oh, in the film it was round, I think. And again, it looks much smaller. A lot of bookings, I guess, for this table.
Mathis needs me. Good night. Congratulations again.
And there's all this. This must be all really, really expensive to keep such an old hotel restored. And I mean, just imagining washing the curtains and everything. So, wow. Are you a Bond fan? Do you watch a lot of Bond films?
I saw 3 films of James Bond, but
Okay.
I'm not a big fan.
Okay. Why not? How can you not be a Bond fan? Working in that same hotel.
Because I prefer other film categories, so it's
Okay.
not my cup of tea.
Okay, great. Any other locations that we have to check out in the hotel where they filmed?
I think it was just here in the Grand Restaurant, the reception and the room.
Yeah.
But the room I cannot show you.
Of course.
Because now it's high season.
It's occupied. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
occupied, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Tom, thank you very much for
You're
being
welcome.
our host in this little hotel tour. Check out the Grandhotel Pupp. Stay there if you can when you're in Karlovy Vary. It is the place to stay. And Bond and hotels, they have a history. It's always just the finest and the best, so you should do it definitely as a Bond fan.
But I can you recommend to visit the city of Loket.
Yes, definitely.
There was it shoot too.
Mhm.
And it's very nice city with a long history
Yeah.
and good area.
Yeah, good
Location.
food as well.
Good
I mean,
location.
they filmed right on the marketplace, and with the Aston Martin going up, the scene you already saw, and yeah, it's not far from here. It's what, like 15
kilometers.
15 kilometers? Yeah, by bus, by train, by taxi, absolutely no problem. So when you're here, plan half a day to go to Loket. It's worth it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Remember Bond running to his Aston Martin? Filmed right here. Grandhotel Pupp car park. And walking through this little park opposite the Grandhotel Pupp, the magnificent Kaiserbad comes into view just behind the trees. This is, of course, the famous Casino Royale. It was made up in the film to look like a grand casino. And today, don't be spooked, it looks a bit, well, run down. The building is maintained and renovated through public funds, with donations. There's a donation box inside. And you can actually visit Xander's Hall, which is on the first floor, which is where they filmed a couple of scenes with Bond in the bar. You know, the famous scene, ordering the martini, shaken not stirred. Do I look like I give a damn? You will see the scene in a moment, and you can visit this hall. Or at least you could now in the summer of 2019. And this magnificent old building is now as synonymous with Bond history as so many other buildings are, as I mentioned earlier. And it's just an incredible feeling to look at it. What is actually on display at the moment at the Kaiserbad is one of the richly decorated rooms of the Kaiserbad, the Xander's Hall. And it says here in the official guide that you get that it is the most important part of the interior. It was a spacious gym with 64 electrical devices to keep fit. So let's go inside, check it out.
Vodka martini. Shaken or stirred?
Do I look like I give a damn?
Game, right? Sorry, I should have introduced myself, seeing as we're related.
A tiny film review of Casino Royale, sitting near the actual building where it was filmed, the Kaiserbad. I thought Casino Royale was a very well structured story. Despite its long runtime, the film kept you entertained throughout, and it went from so many set pieces to become a really great entry to the Bond franchise. The actors are great. It was Daniel Craig's first performance as 007, and people were not happy about his announcement. But I remember very well seeing it in the cinema in my hometown Braunschweig in Germany, when he walked towards the camera in the main title sequence, people were actually getting up from their seats and applauding. I've told this story many times, but this is evidence that you can have an opinion of somebody not being fit for the role or whatever, being blonde, and we don't want a blonde Bond and things like that, but in the end he did a good job on that film. The follow-ups, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, my view has gone down a bit. It's not that I don't like Daniel Craig, but they did something with telling a continuous story that I did not like, and many other Bond fans didn't like that. So, but Casino Royale was really a great action film, a great spy thriller set in great locations. Karlovy Vary, for me, being the most important because of this wonderful building. And I will now enjoy a couple of more moments just looking at it, because, well, you have to take in these places, take lots of photographs, do videos, and yeah, you need something to show your children when you teach them about Bond. A couple of recommendations. A place I really liked was Café Azil. It's in a side street right next to the Mill Colonnade, and they've got lovely, lovely food. They've got a terrace by the river, really great, and I was here yesterday, had a very nice grilled salmon, and if you eat here, try the homemade cheesecake and the strawberry mint lemonade. Perfect after a day of walking. Second recommendation, Ristorante Capri. Really great Italian food, fish dishes, pasta dishes. You can sit near the river, just a few feet from the Grandhotel Pupp, and well, the food must be great if so many stars liked it, including our James Bond, Daniel Craig. And if you decide to take a stroll after dinner, which is healthy by the way, and you go outside of the tourist areas, you find these little spots, like with this column here, dedicated to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, actually. You have a lovely evening view over Karlovy Vary with the pedestrian zone going towards the Mill Colonnade. In busy places like this one, or even London or Paris or whatever, I seek out places where I have peace and calm. And our society has, well, developed into something I don't like. People are unfriendly, unmannered, they don't behave in public, and I was very well brought up, luckily, by my mother. So I have manners, I know how to behave in public places, in restaurants, whatever. What I saw today in restaurants, been in 2 restaurants, really, people learn how to behave every time, especially on holiday. I mean, we all know the stories. English people behave like that, Russian people behave like that. All of this could be avoided if we all just knew manners. And Bond has manners. So, Bond fans, don't forget that. Behave a bit more like Bond, and you're fine. And people will love you for it. What do I take home with from my trip? Well, Karlovy Vary is the essence of old European splendor. And the city is very clean, the service is great, the food is great, so it's really worth a visit no matter where you live. The city is accessible via Prague, or as I did, by train from Germany. And I will go back today in just a couple of hours, have to check out now. So this has been really fun, and I can recommend dual location traveling to every Bond fan, because, well, you brush up on the history of these places and get a bit of local food. Really great.